Shalom. It's your boy Judah, the Lion's Whelp, Brian Rouse Yehuda, straight from the lineage of Jesus, as was David, as was the first man Adam. Today, I'm going to show you how to use optionals in Swift 3. This is our final lesson in Learn Swift Quick. So if you got here, congratulations. You should be able to at least debug any Swift application. So let's just get on with the lesson. Okay, what is an optional? An optional is a value type that represents an enumerated Boolean value. It's either true or false. Okay, a true value represents and it's shown as an optional. That's a wrap value. A false means there's no value and it's being shown as nil. Okay, and you identify an optional when you see a question mark at the end of a data type. Okay, so the first example I'm going to show you is an integer optional, and that looks like this. So we're going to create a constant called form int. We'll say it equals 25 plus 2 times 50. And that gives you 125. Okay? Because if you had paid attention in mathematics, then you know what's called the order of operations. So this is not 27 times 50. That means you weren't paying attention in class. First, you have to do the multiplier, which is 2 times 50, which is 100. And then you add that to 25, which is the reason the result is 125, okay? But we're here to learn about optionals, not the order of operations. Okay, so that's how you got that. And if I say print it, it's going to show you that it's an optional wrap value. So I'll say print form int and you get an optional of 125. Okay, but nobody wants to see the word optional in front of on their phone. You understand what I'm saying? And so you have to unwrap that, but I'm going to show you how to do that later. But in the meantime, I got a yellow warning. Yellow warnings you can ignore sometimes, but for the sake of this lesson, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And I do that by saying as any. Okay? And we need to put that within the bracket, not outside of it. And that gets rid of the warning. Okay? And we have an optional 125. Okay? And I'll show you later how to get rid of that. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is a string optional. So let's create a constant called let form string optional equal 25 plus 2 times 50. Now that's not going to do nothing but print it out because it's a string. It's not an actual integer. Okay? And there you have it. It just prints out what you have because it's a string. It's not an integer now. Up here it was an integer, so it actually did some calculations. Okay? We learned about that already. So if I say print form string, I put that as any in there so there won't be any problems. And you have an optional 25 plus 2, blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's the string form. This is the integer form. Okay? Easy. Okay? Now the next thing I want to show you are the Boolean optionals, because here in the definition it says enumerated Boolean value. Okay? And let me show you what that means. So I'm going to create a constant called let number it's going to be an integer, of course, equal optional dot some value, and we'll make it 1,000. And there you go. You have an optional with 1,000, and if you print it out, okay. Now we want to ask Swift, is this true or false? Does it have a value or does it not have a value? As we see, it does have a value. So we're asking it, is it nil? Does it not have a value? I'm going to put print number does not have a value. Does it equal nil? So I'm saying it equals nil. Is that a true statement? And as you see over here, you get false, because there is actually a value in that constant. You follow? I'm going to go ahead again and I'm going to say let no number int optional equal optional dot none. Okay? Then I'm going to say print does no number int does no number, because I already know it's an integer, so does no number equal nil, meaning I'm asking it, I said if the optional is none, okay, which I just did, I told her it's none, there's nothing there, there's no value there. So I said, well, is no number nil? Is it 0? Is there no value there? You know, that's the question I'm asking Swift. Okay? And the result will be true. Okay, so up here, I said I did the constant that was an optional that said it has a number called 1,000. It has a value of 1,000. So I said, is the number empty? Nil, empty? It says, no, it's not. It's false. That's false. That's a false statement. So I says, well, here's a variable. Here's a constant called no number. That's an integer. I says, and it's an optional that is nil. I said, so is no number equal to nil? He said, yeah, it is. It's true right there. Okay, so that's how that works. You following me? So now I'm going to show you how to force unwrap an optional. Okay, so now we're going to let's just say we're at a casino, okay, and we're dealing with tokens. So I'm going to create a token called variable. Call it token, and integer optional. We're going to give it a value called 7. Okay, so this has an optional value called 7, right? If I were to print it out, print token as any. And you have an optional 7. Okay. Here you go. So it's wrapped. It's wrapped. It's a wrapped optional. And so we need to force unwrap it. Okay. And to do that, it would look something like this. So I would say print print token and put the exclamation point after token. I am forcing it to unwrap it. Now it's no longer a wrapped optional. It's unwrapped. 7. So you use the exclamation point to unwrap an optional. Did you see that? Now, sometimes if you have a lot of code and maybe you're assigned just a certain class in the code and maybe it's a big game or something, maybe you're assigned, let's say, the levels. Okay, and there's already like 1,000 lines of code. The rule of thumb is that you probably shouldn't force unwrap anything. Okay, so the rule of thumb is to unwrap it like this. Okay, if you're not sure it has a value. So because if it doesn't have a value, it's going to crash the app. So it says if let new token. Matter of fact, let's do it this way first. I'll say if token is not. Now another way, there's 2 ways to use the exclamation point: to force unwrap, and you're also, or if you put it in front of the equal sign, or if you put it in front of a variable or a data type, you're saying is not. Okay, that's if it's in front. Okay, so if token is not nil, empty. Okay, then print token as any. And that gives you an optional 7. Okay. So we need to unwrap that, but let's unwrap it. Let's not force unwrap it, but let's just unwrap it with the if let command. Okay. And the way to do that, let's see here, I'll put this up here. It's with the if let keywords. Okay. And you would do that, you would say if let new token. You have to create another constant equals token you would print new token. Which would give you, in fact, an unwrapped value of 7. Okay? So that wraps up our series on Learn Swift Quick. By now, you should pretty much have a good grasp on the language if you follow every lesson. In this one, we identified what an optional was, we defined an optional, and we learned how to manipulate an optional. So that concludes our series. If you made it this far, congratulations. I will be doing some intermediate and advanced courses on Udemy very shortly. I'll also have 2 apps coming out in the App Store. Look out for them. So please subscribe and you'll get to know when it's coming out. Thanks for watching and happy coding.